Good afternoon. My name is Edward Chu, and I welcome you to the third video in a series I've created to transparently share about my coaching journey. And initially, my intention was to transparently share about building that business, and that's still uh, a key aspect. But what I've also come to see is that if I want to share about my building my coaching business, that my coaching business is ultimately me. Who am I? And the way I engage in my life personally talks directly to the type of coach that I will be. For I believe that no coach can provide value unless they have personally embodied and in some way lived through the experiences that they're coaching others through. And I don't mean specific circumstances in terms of the exact same scenario challenges, but we all have our challenges, we all have our struggles, and how do we walk through those? And that's what I want to also include in this video series. And to that end, I would like to share something about my relationship with my fiance and something that happened over the weekend that I'm not proud of. I showed up at her place on Friday, did some work. She showed up around 4, got settled in, and we started talking. And very quickly, turned into a conversation where we were not on the same page. And I couldn't even tell you in this moment specifically about what it was she said. But the topic that we talked about, we were not agreeing on. We didn't see eye to eye. And I thought we were just having a conversation about that and disagreeing about it. Very quickly, she had a very heavy energy, turned to me and said, "Fine, you win." And I believe it was followed up with something like, "You always have to win." I know memory is a funny thing, so I'm not certain about that, but I do know that she said you have to win. And I know that poked me. It poked me right here. You can't see me dead in the chest. Because from my perspective, I wasn't trying to win. We weren't seeing eye to eye, and I was just expressing my truth in that moment. Doesn't matter. What matters is how I responded to it. And I did not respond to it, I reacted to it. What she said hurt me, it poked me. And what happened is, first, when I got that poke, boom, the armor went up, that protective armor. Two, my heart shut. I felt it close up. And three, I got into that energy of I'm right and you're wrong. And I saw it. And my fiance had the wisdom to take a couple of breaths, pick up her book, and go upstairs so she could cool down while I sat downstairs and ruminated about how I was treated so unfairly. I allowed that energy to pretty much ruin the energy for the entire evening. I'm going to read something to you that resonated deeply with me. Knowing that I made so many mistakes in my marriage, I have made a very strong commitment to myself to be better. And to that end, I set this intention for myself in a book that I strongly recommend the men out there and even the women just to understand men maybe better. The Way of the Superior Man. But what I'm going to read to you is something that I have strived to live up to in those moments when I am poked, seriously poked, for many years. I'd venture to say 5 or 6 years, and I still have yet to pull this one off. And it embarrasses me to say it, but it's true. and I'm not going to give up, and it's going to happen. So David Deida uh, shares this. A woman will test her man, and this is a gift. Rise up and be unperturbed. Love her in her testing and prove to her that you are trustworthy in your strength of purpose and character. To add on to that, a woman often seems to test her man's capacity to remain unperturbed in his truth and purpose. She tests him to feel his freedom and depth of love, to know that he is trustable. Her tests may come in the form of complaining, challenging him, changing her mind, doubting him, distracting him, or even undermining his purpose in a subtle or not so subtle way. A man should never think his woman's testing is going to end and his life will get easier. Rather, he should appreciate that she does these things to feel his strength, integrity, and openness. Her desire for his deepest truth and love. Her desire is for his deepest truth and love. As she grows, so will her testing. I failed, and I'm not ashamed about it. I'm sad about it. Um, I talked with her about it before sharing this video. And I believe why I'm sharing this is because for any of you out there who are watching this and you want to be better, you want to grow, you want to create a bigger future, you want to create better relationships, you want to be more impactful, you want to add more value, well, you have to be deliberate. You have to decide on very specific areas where you're going to focus energy and shore those areas up. And what I am doing here today is sharing one that is of deep importance to me and one that I carry a lot of frustration around because I have been striving to do it for so very long. I have made tremendous headway in reducing my reactiveness under most conditions. But when it really pokes me the most, I still go unconscious. Is there anything else that I want to share? No, not in this moment. I hope that this video, I actually instead, I challenge you to take a look at your relationship if you're in one, and to look at the ways that you currently engage or react to in those situations where you're not on the same page, where you're not eye to eye, or where there may be some contention, and look at your patterns. Shoot, maybe even talk with your significant other about that if you have a healthy enough relationship to do so. And set some goals, but where it is you want to be better and how you specifically want to be better and what action steps you're going to take toward that end. In closing, I will share the specific steps that I've been taking that simply haven't yielded the results that I'm looking for. And that's breath work. It's awareness. It's developing my capacity to see when I go unconscious or get reactive faster and faster, because I do see it. Here I am talking about it, but it took me the time from Friday afternoon around 4:30 until Saturday morning. That's not the react response time that I want. I want to be far, far faster. Thank you for those of you who watched this video, and I hope that you received some value. Take care and have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you.